So the thing that I was impressed about with Action, you know, for anyone listening, I went through Action. When was it? It was in September.
Yep.
I went through it for 9-10 weeks. The thing I was impressed about with Action is your therapists.
Yeah, we have some really good therapists.
So Phil and Charlie.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I learned a lot. What was interesting, it's like Jim, when I first got in there, he's like, everyone associated me with just this knowledge of recovery.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're like, oh, you know, and I'm like, dude, I've never even been to treatment. Like, this is my first time in treatment.
I'm new to this.
You guys don't know. Like, I know my style, or like, you know, I've created art with the exercise stuff and everything, but like Charlie first started talking to me, I always have had problems with like, I'm always scared of cravings.
Yeah.
You know, and not being able to stop it. You know, it comes into my head and it lights up. You know, I remember the one time close before I came in, I'd been doing good and I'm driving to church. And I going to church to teach a lesson in elders quorum. And I'm driving, and all of a sudden that pops into my head. I just drive right by the church, take a left, go right up to the Sinclair, slam 2 of them, and then go teach my elders quorum lesson. It was just like, you know, like that. And the whole time I was driving to the Sinclair, I was like crying. I was like, and I was yelling at God. I was like, why can't I stop? Why am I doing this? This is wrong. This is not appropriate to go relapse on this and then go teach an elders quorum lesson. Yeah. But I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Charlie talked to me about just that euphoric recall.
Yeah.
About going, you know, the euphoric comes in, it tells you it's going to be amazing, and then going right to the dark side of it. And he talked about going to the smell of it, like the worst part of it, where you're smelling your throw up.
Uglify it.
Yeah, uglify it.
Yep.
And I'd always known that and sold it to myself through my writings in a different way. But the way he presented it to me and the way Jim presented it to me was very helpful. And Phil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love all of them are so knowledgeable about recovery. And I think like one of the coolest things that they've all been through it themselves.
Yeah.
So they can say like, this is what happens to me too, you know?
Yeah. Well, so Charlie was my therapist, so he's your therapist too, isn't he?
Yeah.
When I was there, bro, we'd go for a walk.
Yep.
Yeah.
He loves doing that.
We just go walk up to the cemetery, and I loved his style, dude. And we just
he's just so chill, and he's just easy to talk to. I love conversations with him, even just like work wise. I get excited on my Tuesdays because I get to hang out with him for a couple hours, and he's so fun. Yeah,
he's dude, and. The thing that I liked about him is he, you know, I had like a week or 2 left before I graduated, and I worked through all the steps and got to a pretty good place, but I started kind of slacking. Like I was just like
just over it.
Well, because you go back to work and then I'm working all day and trying to get over there. And he says, hey, why don't you finish strong? Why don't you finish strong?
I can picture him saying
and I was
that.
like, all right, bro, that's good. Like, and then Phil, bro, like Phil taught me about, I don't know, he sold it to me a different way. Cause I always talked about how like, I like to take kratom and then go talk to people.
Yeah.
You know, like, or it's the same, it's been the same thing always, like with pills in my pocket, you know, or I knew I always liked when I knew I could take something and then go into a social interaction.
That was me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Phil was like, why can't you just do that with spirit?
Oh, I like that. I've never heard him say that.
He's like, why can't you just do that with spirit? Like, it's better. And then I translated into like, all right, I'm just going to use God as my drug.
Yeah.
And that idea right there, because when you walk into a conversation with somebody, like, I can just walk in with that pure love of Christ or that pure charity in my heart that you get from recovery.
Yep.
And that's a better social interaction.
It really is. Like, it's just more genuine and feels more real.
Yeah.
But I totally understand the feeling like you need something to go into a social situation, because that was like what I would do, is like get high and go do things, see people, see my family, see whoever, and I just was so petrified to do it sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull this back just a little bit.
Back?
Just towards you. Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. Yeah, you're good. I know. And have you always been like that? So have you always, would you say that a lot of your drug use was to help you socially?
In the beginning, yes, but at the end, I was isolating myself so bad. A good day to me was like sitting in my room, getting high, not having to go find drugs. That was like the first thing, but sitting in my room, getting high and sleeping all day. Like I just was so avoidant and isolated at the end. But I wasn't always like that. My drinking in my early college days and stuff was purely social and to make me feel more comfortable in my own skin.
What were you like in high? What were you like as a kid? What were you like when you were a little kid before substance abuse?
Before substance, I mean, I was always outgoing.
Yeah.
I had a really good childhood. My parents are still to this day the most amazing, supportive people. I never had like any traumatic thing happen to me when I was little. Like nothing crazy happened that like, you know, you hear a lot of people that go through a lot of hard things and you're like, I understand why they turn to substances, but for me it wasn't that. It was just like I just liked the feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was always a happy kid, social. I was anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had anxiety growing up from a really young age. I would worry a lot. Like I would ask my mom, like, "You're not gonna die today, are you?" And I was always really worried.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd you grow up?
In South Ogden.
Did you?
Yeah, I went to Bonneville.
So what part of we're out in South Ogden?
You know, like over by the you know where Montessori Academy is? My parents live right in that gated community right there.
Montessori Academy.
Right by the Catholic Church over.
Well, I mean, that's right where I live.
Know.
Right
I know
now.
your address when I saw it on your file. I was like, he lives right by my parents.
So your parents are, they're down the hill?
Down the S
across
hill.
the street from the...
Yep, from the church.
No way.
Yeah.
So they'd be in my ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. So what year did you graduate?
08.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you went to Bonneville.
Yeah.
When did you start taking yourself out of reality?
Probably about 16.
Yeah.
16-ish. I started like drinking on the weekends, and I remember like only looking forward to the weekends because I could drink. I started experimenting with like cough medicine. I would steal
Robotize.
I remember my friend's mom got a boob job and we like stole all her Percocet and took them, and I was like, ooh, I really liked that. But I didn't really have like access to drugs.
What did that do when is that the first time you took opiates?
Yeah.
What do you remember about that?
I just remember I felt like I was on top of the world.
Just like talkative, happy.
Talkative. Like I could have gone for like 1,000,000 miles an hour. Like I just could have just taken over the world.
Dude, so the first time I took pills.
How old were you?
I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
And we went to get them. And I remember this dude, we had this bottle of pills, me and my friends.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know, Lortabs or Percocets or Vicodin back then. And I remember going to this gas station. It was this one right down here where Hardee's used to be.
Oh my gosh.
The one by just right there by Weber State.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get beer. And the dude at the counter said that he would trade us for, we're high school kids. This dude took a massive risk. So we gave him the bottle of Percocets, and he gave us like beer? A 30-pack of beer.
Oh my gosh.
And he worked there. And I remember I'll never forget, I remember like, damn, those pills are strong. Like that dude's, I remember him he looked at his girl, the other girl that worked there, and their faces were so happy.
Oh yeah, he got a deal that day.
Yeah, they were so happy to get those. You know what? And that's when I realized, I was like, dude, what is it about those pills?
Yeah, what's so special about those?
That dude, and then I got thinking, like, as I got older, I was like, wow, that guy took a risk.
Yeah.
Trading pills for beer in the
high
middle.
School kids.
High school kids.
Nuts.
But the reason I ask is because the first time I took them, same thing. I've said this on here before, but it was the first time I really linked it up that I loved them.
Yeah.
As I had shoulder surgery in college, and I hated playing hacky sack. And there was hacky sack on. We always, every night, the baseball team play hacky sack on the dorm top floor, fifth floor of the dorms.
Yeah.
And so I took a couple of the pain pills after my surgery, and then I had like a couple beers. And then I went up there and I was like, and I just loved hacky sack.
You were just
I was like, this
living life.
hacky sack is so fun. And then I linked it up to everything. It's like, well, this would be fun to go to a movie. What about a movie? I loved going to movies on them.
Yeah.
Going and then just everything.
I could do anything.
Yeah.
Taking these.
A lot of social. I've said this on here too, but like, so like something like this, it'd be like a trigger for me to take pills.
Yeah.
You know, if I was knew I was gonna come have a conversation with you and I wanted it to be beautiful and fun, that's my main thing why I like to take pills.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I relate with you on that. I was the same way. If I knew that I was going to be having any sort of conversation, if I was doing any sort, can I take her out and just put her on my lap?
Yeah. It's fine.
We need a baby cam.
Seriously.
A cute little baby cam.
Yeah, it's fine, dude. Yeah, it's fine.
You want to sit up here with mommy?
But, so did it grab you?
No, it didn't grab me.
Like the first time you took it, it didn't grab you? I mean,
no, it didn't. If I was able to get them, I would have.
Yeah.
But, like, drinking grabbed me more when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, from about 16 to 21, I drank very heavily. Like, we're talking, would black out every single time I drank.
Really?
Yeah. And
so just going hard.
Just going hard. You know, before I would even leave the house in college, my roommates and we lived in this house, and there were 6 girls of us that lived there, and we like jokingly called it the brothel, and 6 of us lived there, and we would take 6 shots of vodka before we would even go out, and and then we'd just keep drinking all night, you know, and I don't remember a lot of that stuff.
Wow.
A lot of what I did, I remember waking up and like I would have this feeling that someone was mad at me or that I had done something stupid. But we that's just what we did. All the girls did it in the house. Yeah.
That's interesting. I never drank to blackout like that.
I wasn't trying to black out.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like I couldn't go walk in a party with that many people
and not just be
drunk already, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's dangerous.
It is dangerous. It scares me so bad.
Especially for a female.
Yeah, it is dangerous.
Yeah.
And I definitely got myself in some bad situations a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sexually assaulted probably 3 times in college at frat houses.
Wow.
And it was, you know, but the thing about it was I was just so not there. I was just so messed up all the time that I feel like I didn't even process that till I really came into treatment.
Yeah.
Like I just pushed it in the back of my mind. I was just like, that's what happens. It happened to a lot of girls. So
yeah. Really?
Yeah.
So like you didn't even like make a big deal out of it?
Nuh-uh. I didn't even tell my mom, and my mom is like my best friend, and I didn't even tell her about it till years down the road. How did you
find out you got sexually assaulted?
Like woke up with like clothes not on, and I like had like little images of like me being like no, you know, but
oh man.
Yeah, and GHB was like really big when I was in college, and they would make this jungle juice in these coolers. And I remember the first time I went to a frat party, they were like, the older girls were like, don't drink the jungle juice. And I was like, they don't know what they're talking about. Well, I drank the jungle juice, and I didn't recall a thing from the night. And I was like, ooh, that was kind of scary.
Dang.
So then I just stuck to our own alcohol, but I did the same thing to myself that GHB did to me. So
how would it feel to be a man that does that?
Dude, I don't know.
I don't get it.
Takes advantage of a female like that.
And like in a pre
that you're setting it up. You're setting up a jungle juice cooler.
That you know that's what you're gonna do. That's so creepy to me.
It's like the type of dude. You're like the type of dude who would kill somebody.
Right.
Like if you're gonna basically rape that's what you're gonna do. That's rape.
Right. It is rape.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I definitely. Like, even then, I knew that the people I was hanging out with and, like, the people I was associating myself weren't, like, people I wanted to be around, you know?
Yeah, that's too bad. I wonder what I bet that party scene now is even...
crazier.
I bet it's even crazy. I can't imagine the Adderall abuse that's going on in colleges.
Oh, my God, I know.
Did you ever get into Adderall?
I did.
Yeah,
when I got in trouble in Idaho... I had Adderall on me, and I had like I don't know, I kind of tried a little bit of every drug.
Yeah.
Like I like I said before to you earlier, like I tried to see if I could use any drug like a lady. Turns out I can't. But
did you start snorting it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never even took it orally. Someone told me that you got a better effect if you snorted it.
Oh,
so
really?
I never even took it orally. I was like, I'm going straight for the...
So by this time you'd done coke and everything then?
No, I'd never done coke.
So is this the first thing you snorted was Adderall?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, maybe Roxy's.
Oh, okay.
Probably Roxy's.
Roxy's before. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I never really got into uppers until like after my opiate use.
So how did you get into opiates like Roxy's? Were you linked up to a doctor ever?
Yep, I got injured. I hurt my back, and they put me on pain pills, and they put me on them for a long time. And then I think they could tell I was like abusing them because they cut me off. And so I reached out to this girl I knew that could get them, and she just introduced me to the drug world.
Oh, wow.
Like, she taught me how to use them. She introduced me to multiple people that had them, and are you trying to eat that?
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it was a world that I had no idea about, because in high school, I used to get mad at my boyfriend for smoking weed. Like, I was like, that's an illegal drug.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, like, pills and stuff were illegal if you're not prescribed them. I thought, like, oh, they're fine because they're prescriptions.
Just pills.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's back in the day.
Yeah.
That's back when... Yeah, that's how I kind of felt when I was getting into them. I was like, oh, this is better than drinking.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what I thought.
This is better than smoking weed.
I remember thinking I was doing so good. I was about 21 or 22, and I remember thinking I was doing so good because I didn't drink anymore.
So
just
opiates
took pills.
help you quit drinking?
Yeah, that is what essentially quit my drinking is opiates. I found opiates and fell in love.
That's interesting. I've heard that before from people.
Yeah, it wasn't so, like, I had done Percocet and stuff, like I said previously, but it was really the Roxy's that took me, it got me in a chokehold. Like, I went off the rails with those.
Just blues.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you ever get to where you were going through people's cabinets?
Yeah. I was going through people's cabinets. I was stealing. My dad has a really bad back, and he was on pain pills, and I was like stealing his pain pills, and it was just like I never thought I'd be that person that would steal from my parents. You know.
Me too.
And it's the craziest thing. So I remember a couple years ago, they finally gave me their garage code again. And I was like, yes, like I'm allowed back in the house. Yeah.
Dude, so when Autumn, we had our first baby, when we had Kennedy.
Yeah.
So Autumn had to have C-sections in all of hers.
Oh, okay.
So it was either Kennedy or Bodie. I think it was Bodie. I wasn't doing good at all when we first had Bodie, and she gnarly C-section, you know.
Oh yeah.
Stomach cut open.
Yep, I've had 3 of them.
Yeah,
I get it.
And so I take all of her pills, all of them.
Oh no.
And convinced her that she didn't need them.
You're like, I need these.
And then when she did need them, I felt bad. And I called the doctor and said that she was sick, that the Percocets didn't work, that we needed hydrocodone. She had allergic, made up some story. Mm-hmm. Got a script for that, ate all those.
Oh,
that just makes me sick.
Isn't it crazy the things
and you're just
that
like
we
justifying it. And the whole time I've got her, and I mean,
in agony over there.
I mean, she had some, but like I convinced her, like, you don't need all these.
Yeah.
You don't need these, you know, which she didn't, because she's way tougher than me.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
She
like,
definitely is.
Yeah. Like, but it makes me sad. I mean, that whole side of it. And
yeah. Oh yeah. There's
lie.
definitely times where I you know, using around, my son was around for like 3 years around me being an addict, and this was when things were bad, and like the places I would bring him to like pick up pills and stuff, it just makes me sick to think about that I took him there. And like there, I was actually telling Jim this story makes me so sad, but so poor little guy, like I told him I would take him swimming, and my dealer took too long. And so I'm waiting and waiting, and I didn't even end up taking him swimming. And he had like his little swimsuit on and his floaties on, and that just breaks my heart still to this day. He doesn't remember it, thank God, but I remember it. And like those are the things that keep me sober now, because I'm like, I can't do that to my children, you know?
Dude, that's I got a story just like that. Took Kennedy with me to the Barnes and Noble and waited there for like 4 hours. I wouldn't leave. And she's like pooped her pants.
Oh,
and I wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
Then we left. Finally, he got there, and we left. And I remember I was sitting at a stoplight, and I looked back at her, and she was like staring at me with like this disgusted look. I mean, she was only like 2. But like, and I remember thinking, this was the thought, and this changed my life. I remember thinking, like, she's never gonna know who I am if I stay on opiates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, because I don't know. I keep that in my pocket. That's one I keep in my pocket.
Whoops.
The one I keep in my pocket now with kratom is first off, I know.
She's trying to eat the table.
She's so chill. I know that I can't stop, and I'm just putting my family at risk.
Yeah.
If I just there's no, it's the same thing, you know. It's the same thing as opiates.
Same thing. It's the same thing. It's just easier to get and quicker.
Yeah.
Quicker to get.
Yeah, it is.
But for me, like, I know abstinence isn't everybody's path of recovery, but for me it is, because I know how I am. And I will take anything, literally anything, and abuse it. Like, I don't even take NyQuil, like cough medicine and stuff. I have in recovery, but like very rarely, because I just know how I am, and I will abuse things, you know?
My biggest fear now is like my mood dipping, because like, so say I took NyQuil is one of mine too. Like, I'll get the flu, and then I'll be on NyQuil for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know? Like every night before bed. And
you're like, I need it.
Yeah. But now it's like, if my mood dips a little and I know it dipped because of a substance that I took, like I used to think, oh, I could drink, you know, or I could, like, if I always had this thing in my head, if I went back to Wichita to college and partied with my buddies, that I'd be fine.
Yeah.
But dude, no way. I don't even dare, because if I'm my spiritual condition, or that mood dips, and I have that easy access to kratom, which if I open the door to that kratom, I can't stop. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to end up back in action.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up kicked out of this place again. And I just know. And so I'm with you.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I can't take anything.
It's just abstinence for me. Because I tried to use every substance. I got off of opiates completely. And I know this sounds insane, but I was telling you earlier, like, I thought, like, maybe I can do crack like a normal human. Normal people don't do crack, first of all. But,
That's a funny
but
sentence.
like, I really was like, oh, I'll just do crack. Like, maybe I can just do it, like, on the weekends or something.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, and I've been up for 5 days, and I'm out of money, and, you know, like, it's just, things have just gone really bad, and I'm like, well, that didn't go as planned. And then I'm like, maybe I can do Xanax like a normal person. And then, you know, it's the exact same thing for me over and over. And so I finally just gave up and surrendered and was like, I remember the first time I prayed and I was like, I don't know what's out there, but I need help. Like, I can't do this on my own.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember, so Rick was my counselor, Rick Visser at Action, and he told me, have you ever gotten on your knees and really surrendered and prayed? And I was like, no, like, I would feel stupid doing that. And he's like, just think about it. And that's all he said. And so when I got really desperate, because when I got into treatment, I wasn't able to just stay sober. Like, some people get into treatment and they're like, oh, I'm done using because I'm in treatment. That's not my story.
You were
like,
full of relapse.
I relapsed probably 6 times while I was in treatment.
Wow. So you were in Action?
Yeah, I got kicked out of Action in 2015, which is really funny now. Like, I love telling people that now because it's so funny,
like,
because of
Action.
my job. Yeah. But I got kicked out of Action for bringing heroin into treatment.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't go 3 hours without using, and I had it in my purse, and someone called and told on me, which I'm grateful they did, family members of mine, and they were like, check Whitney's bag, and they checked my bag, and they kicked me out immediately. And I remember my first question to them was, can I get the heroin back? And they're like, no, you need to get out of here. Like, we will call the cops. I was like, oh
yeah.
That makes me like just sick. Like, I'm glad I'm not there.
Me
I know
too,
what that
because
feels
I was
like.
so desperate. I was like, I don't have money to get more. They just took what I had, you know? And I was so scared. So scared.
So when's the first, so you were shooting heroin? Or smoking it?
Smoking it, shooting it. I did a little bit of everything.
Okay, so what did you start out just smoking it? Or because a lot of people start out just smoking, like, I'll never shoot it, or snorting it or whatever.
So I actually, this is kind of crazy, but the girl that introduced me to pills taught me how to shoot up Roxy's, and so that's what I was doing. So I kind of just jumped from doing that to shooting up heroin.
Oh, so you're shooting up Roxy's.
Yeah, first.
That's like more dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, I was shooting up like 5 at a time, which is so scary. So scary.
That's a lot of filler stuff.
It is.
Doesn't need to be in your blood.
No, it doesn't.
Crazy.
It doesn't. And it, you know, I had no idea, like, the dangers of it. I thought because I went to a phlebotomy class and completed that, I was like, I'm good. I know all the safety measures to take.
That's wild. So you started shooting Roxy's, and then, so you were doing Roxy, then they got too expensive, and then you moved to heroin.
Yeah, one time I just remember the girl, I only knew a couple people that sold Roxy's. I was still trying to keep it on the down low, and they were like, we have heroin, but we don't have Roxy's. And I was so sick. I was shaking. I was throwing up. I was like dry heaving and throwing up, and I was shaking, and I had restless legs. I couldn't sit still. I was like pacing around, and I was just like, give me whatever. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I'll use it. And then I tried heroin, and then, you know, then I was doing, it was cheaper, and it was like, felt basically the same. So
is it feel dirtier?
yes.
It's not as good as
Absolutely
Roxy's.
feels dirtier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild. So how long did you ever overdose?
I did. Yeah, I did a couple times. Yeah, there was one time I overdosed in my parents' bathroom. I don't even know if they know this. Like, I would tell them, but I don't know if they know this. But normally, on Stevie. Normally, I would wake up, or my son would wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And for some reason that night he didn't. He slept through the entire night. But I woke up on the bathroom floor. And then there was a couple times my friends had to Narcan me, and that was not fun. Excuse me.
Really?
Yeah. By the end of my using, like, there was a time where I told my mom, I pulled her outside of her house, and I was like, I am going to kill myself if I don't get help. Like, I can't live like this anymore. Like, I just can't live like this. I was so miserable every day. I was so sick. I was sick all the time, you know? Yeah. And it was just exhausting to live like that.
Dude, how long did it go on for? Like when you were bad like that?
When I was bad like that, probably only like 2 years.
Yeah.
But 2 years is a long time. Yeah, my poor family went through hell with me. Like,
what was it that flipped the script? Like, flip the switch in your brain to like finally surrender? Just that right there, what you were saying?
No, that didn't do it. Still, I got arrested a couple times. And this last time I got arrested, it's crazy because I was in jail and I'm sitting with these girls, and these girls are talking about, and I'm withdrawing. Yeah. And these girls are talking about when they get out of jail, how they're gonna shoot up in 5 places and kill themselves. And I was like, I don't want to be like that.
Man.
But that still didn't do it, because the second I got out of jail, you want to know what I did? I went and used.
Right.
But
like right after?
Like right after. That was the first thing I did, was went and used. But I don't really know what switched for me. I was still really unsure about being sober 90 days in.
Yeah.
And I had an experience where I found my boyfriend dead from an overdose. And seeing him like that, and that experience, I was like, I remember thinking to myself, like, I can either take this and I can go down and do the exact same thing that he just did, or I can take this and learn from it and not put my family through that. And I think that was what really flipped the switch for me, like seeing him dead like that.
So did he die?
Yeah, he did die. Yeah, I tried to do CPR on him. Like, they worked on him for an hour in my living room, and I just remember they took the body and there was just blood on my carpet, and that was all I was left with, and his stuff. And I was just like, he's gone, just that quick. Like, I saw him 2 hours ago. You know?
Were you sober at that time?
I was. He wasn't.
Wow.
I was. We were trying to get him into inpatient treatment, and there was a list because he had Medicaid, and there was a long list for inpatient. You know how that goes. So it was just, you know, it was sad, but that relationship was very abusive, and I needed to get out of it, and I don't know if I would have. Yeah. You know?
If something like that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, if something drastic didn't happen. So.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. So how did you get into action? So how did you become... So you got sober through action.
I got sober through action.
Working with Rick.
Working with Rick and Jim. Yep. Jim actually couldn't stand me when I was in treatment. He called me the little shit. Like, he was like, because of HIPAA, I never said your name. He was like, but I always just called you the little shit because you were a pain. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was a pain. I was going through it. But yeah, I found action. Just a family friend told me about it, and I had no idea. I was desperate. I didn't want to go to jail, so I was like, I guess I'll do. I didn't even know I didn't even know there was outpatient treatment. I thought you always had to go into residential, you know.
So you did day treatment.
I did day treatment the first time, and then we didn't have day treatment the second time I went through, so I did IOP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I loved the day treatment up at Action.
I did too.
Like, it was just, you know, I went into that Wasatch for 3 days, and then when I called you, you know.
Yep, I remember you were walking, weren't you?
Yeah.
When you called me.
I just left, yeah.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't now I know. I mean, it just the day treatment was a better fit for me.
Yeah.
I gave all my keys up, gave all my money up.
I did the same thing.
My dad dropping me off in the morning.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then just hanging out with Jim.
I know.
Like we same thing. We went on walks.
My life would not be the same without Jim. I'm serious.
That dude, me too. Like just sitting in those little groups because they were just little.
Yep.
And hearing him talk about the big book.
Yeah, he's so knowledgeable, and he's just he says these. He doesn't know it, but he makes these little comments that are so powerful and like stick with you.
Yeah,
he does. There's so many things he's said to me that like just have stuck with me over time. Me
too, dude. Yeah, he said to me, he says, Dustin, you say a lot of good stuff, but are you going to do it? You're saying all the right things, but are you going to actually do it? It's like, I hope.
Yeah, sometimes even like today, I will be like going through something and I'll be talking to him and he's like, is that loving and kind, Whitney? I'm like, oh, no, it's not. And thanks for the reminder. I'll be more loving and kind. But he just has a way of like respectfully telling you to like get it together.
Yeah, the whole time I was up there, I was like, how do we combine action and soar?
That would be so cool.
Because
I know. Like, the programs.
In this, like you're just Charlie and Phil and just I refer. Because we get people here that it's just not a fit for.
Right. And same with us.
So you guys have more, you got a little more, we got ours is just soar. It's just a different kind of a different thing.
It's a different style program. Yeah.
And it's not for everybody.
No, but it does work for a lot of people.
Yeah.
My husband, prime example.
Right. Yeah. He's a stud.
Yeah. He's so cute. I love him.
How's he doing with the baby?
Good. Yeah. He loves her. Yeah, she's so cute. She lights up when she sees him.
Really?
Like she likes to touch his face. Like she'll reach out and like touch his face. It's so funny.
Yeah, dude. I am thankful for Action and for you guys up there. So did I tell you? I wanted to share this on here with you. I think I told you this, but so there was one doctor that I'd hopped around to that was giving me pills. And I had manipulated her. Her brother had died of an overdose. And
was it our doctor?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't know. So this is years ago, right?
Okay.
And I've been talking in our groups here for years that I need to find this doctor because what happened the last time I hopped around to a doctor. It was 2016 on my birthday, November 22nd. And that's the last time I had been sober till kratom.
Oh wow!
And I went into her, and she had been refilling them for me. I've been lying. She kept saying that I reminded her of her brother. Aww. So I'm using this. It just was it was bad, right? The last time I went in, she started to cry. She got teary eyed, and she says, "You can't." She says, "You can't come in here anymore." I know what you're doing. And like, she was, I don't want to say she wasn't a friend. She just was somebody that I got to know and I had really been the salesman with and about in my back. She was trying to help me.
Yeah.
I'd convinced her that she was helping me, which she was, but it was wrong of me, the way that I was manipulating and lying.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't good. And then the next day the office called me and they said, you can't come back here.
Oh my gosh.
So that was the last time. I felt so low and I had been doing good prior to that. That was a relapse. Me and Autumn had gone through the temple and I just had a bad day but anyway, then I went 7 or 8 years until the kratom.
Right.
So then I'm in Action and
you see her
and I'm sitting I'm going to meet with her to have her and
I didn't even tell you who it was, so you had no idea.
I couldn't even remember her name.
Oh, really?
So I'm looking at her and she's going over and I said, I realized I recognized it was her.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, do you know me? Do you remember me?
Did she?
And she looks at me, she says, I think I do remember you.
Oh my gosh.
And so then I just started telling her and made amends. And we talked and cried. And I just hugged her. And,
Oh.
dude, it was crazy.
Yeah.
That bottle's about to dip over.
I'll get it.
But yeah, it was a good experience.
Isn't that crazy? That I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like the universe or God or whoever will put people in your path that you need to fix things with.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I just needed that. Like the conversation we had,
She's amazing.
I talked to her. I was like, I've been doing good, and my life's been amazing. I just ran into this kratom, and
Which
here I am again.
we're seeing so much of too.
Are you starting to see some of it, you guys? Yeah.
Yes, we've had well, it's crazy because we'll have people come in and they'll be like, alcohol is my drug of choice, and then we do their drug screen and they pop up for kratom and they're like, oh, and kratom, they're like more reluctant to bring up the kratom, which is interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Like alcohol just seems to be more socially acceptable. So
yeah, and the kratom. I feel like the kratom's going to hit people's pocketbooks first.
yeah,
I could have probably kept running on it. No, I couldn't have, but I think the first thing that will fall apart on that, if you're getting those extracts out of the gas station, is your pocketbook.
how much are those?
$10 a piece.
Oh my gosh.
So, I'm doing
15.
10 a day, 12 a day.
Oh my gosh, really?
When it started to get to that level, that was when I would always go into detox because I was like, I can't keep this up.
Yeah, this is getting expensive.
But even 6 a day, 7 a day, that's $70 a day.
That's like almost as expensive as
Yeah.
the other stuff, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, yeah, like the blues, like you get a couple, they were like $30,
Yeah.
Roxy's or whatever. I heard that the fentanyl's like $5 in Salt Lake.
Yeah, I had a girl come in and she was doing an assessment and I asked her how many of those fentanyl pills she was doing a day, and she said she was doing 100 because her boyfriend was a dealer, and so she got them for $1 a piece. And she was doing 100 of them a day. She was so sick. She was physically looked not well at all. Like,
Oh my God.
100
Can you
a day.
imagine?
So the tolerance on the fentanyl is way fast, huh?
yes.
And it's in and out too, isn't
Yep.
it? In and out
and
of your system.
it's
pretty
in and out
fast.
of your system quick. So you start withdrawing. Like this girl said, if she didn't use in like 2-3 hours, she would start withdrawing. I was like, that sounds miserable.
And it's such a dumb high.
It
At
is.
least it looks dumb to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked
Where
about
you're-
this before, but you're just asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand that because that's not a high I ever wanted, but I'm guessing there's some of that opiate feeling before that maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
know.
What a dangerous world
Yeah, it's really scary.
with that drug.
Scares me for my kids.
What do you think is, being in this industry, don't you just think it's going to get worse? Mm-hmm. I hate to say that.
It seems like it, if you look at it over the last 10 years, it does just keep getting worse.
Yeah.
And like the other day, had a client come in. She's only been using meth, but she's withdrawing from fentanyl because there was fentanyl in her meth. And so she had to go to detox because she was so sick. And she was like, I've only been doing meth, I promise. And I'm like, that's not what's showing up in your,
Wow, she popped. She had fentanyl too.
Yep. They're cutting everything with it. I heard Xanax, and
It's dangerous.
so scary. Freaks me out.
Yeah, the door's like open and I just don't think it can get closed. And we were talking about earlier, but it's sad because how hard it is for treatment centers to stay alive and to stay going.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
I've been fighting my whole, I don't know, when I started this 2010, and it's since Frank came, what a blessing. He's organized it, and,
Yeah.
but it's just been a fight to keep the doors open. And like I was saying before, and I remember I watched you guys, and I can tell it's the same, right? Like,
yeah.
It's a fight to cover everything a month, right?
Well, when you're a small business and you're not owned by some big corporation, it is a fight. I mean, just to keep the doors open every month is a fight. So,
and it's hard to, like, you know, we obviously we scholarship a lot of people in, like most.
We do too.
I mean, we get somebody and they can't pay. We don't really turn them away. I mean,
yeah,
you know, and that's,
which is amazing.
And I know I honestly think that's why we've stayed in business, though. Probably why Action has stayed in business too, because God keeps things like that going. But it just sucks that this industry, it's so hard to stay afloat. When if Action went out of business, it would not be good for South Ogden. It would not be good for this whole area.
No.
How many people have gone through, you know what I mean? It just wouldn't be good.
No, and it's crazy because majority of our people that we get are referrals from alumni or people in the community that we know. And so, it would not be good and just same with you guys. Like that would be awful for the community. And you guys have such a strong alumni program. Yeah. And like, how horrible would that be for them not to have somewhere to go, you know? Yeah.
It's just wild. I know it'll keep working out. It always has, but it's something to talk about. It's interesting to think. I think about it a lot. I thought about it a lot when I was going through there and seeing how pure your guys' program was. I mean, dude, you know, you got those therapists don't make a lot of money either. You know, I mean,
no,
it's not like anybody's wiping their ass with 20s.
You don't get into this field hoping to make millions, you know? You just don't. You get into it because you want to help people. Yeah. And that's just the way it is in this field. And, you know, you're either okay with it or you're not.
Yeah. And the time, you know, what's hard about recovery or helping people is it's a swing shift. It's not your typical 8 to 4 and then go hang out with your family. It's usually nights, afternoon, nights.
Because people have jobs, people have stuff they have to do. Yeah, it's I worked nights for a long time up at Action. I'm grateful now I get to be home with my family, and but I still, the phones are always forwarded to me, so I'm answering my phone all the time, you know?
Yeah, I always wondered about that. Yeah. Because I always texted you when I was going to be late. I was like, she's just I bet how many more people are
I got my phone on all the time. It's my little sidekick.
Yeah. It's a beauty. It's priceless. It's a priceless work, though.
It is.
You know, being able to, you know, and I recognized that when I got it taken from me.
Oh, I bet.
When I couldn't come here. Yeah. You know, I think this was all a blessing because I will never take this place for granted or the abilities God has given me to work with people and the platforms. Yeah. I don't take that for granted anymore. And I think I was kind of taking it for granted. I was a little bit burned out. I dread coming over here at night. Yeah. You know, I'd be working all day. You know how it gets.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easy to get burned out, or like as you're saying that, I was thinking of sometimes like we'll have really hard, you have really hard people you're working with and they keep relapsing, or something sad happens, or someone passes away, and you're just like, oh, why do I put myself in this world? But then you get to see, then at the right time, someone will pop up that was really struggling and they have a light back in their eyes, and that's what makes this worth it.
Yeah, dude. I always got to go back to that. And now I come over here, I can't wait.
That's good.
I can't wait to see everybody. I can't wait to work with people. The kids, I need to get back over to Action and give back somehow. Yeah, if you have any ideas for me on that,
come teach a class or something.
If you want me, I would
love that.
If you want me to come over there and talk nutrition,
fitness,
or whatever, all my sore stuff, dude, I'll just do that.
I would love that
because I haven't even been over there.
I mean, you could do it whenever too, night or day, but we could make it work. I would love that. That would be so cool for them.
Yeah, tell me. You let me know because.
Okay, I will. will for sure.
Because that was a special thing for me.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm thankful, and I will always speak highly of Action.
Thank you.
You know, for sure.
Yeah. We loved having you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It was hard. It's, you know, going back into treatment or going into treatment like that, like people, it's like, you know how it is. Everyone, it's hard truths about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like, what did I do? Oh, I parked. Oh, no, I kept walking up to the water tower.
Oh, yeah. I remember
and you're not
that.
supposed to go up there. Mm-hmm. And Josh is like, why are you, like, you know, you're running your own program, like your self-importance, because, you know, you do our character. And that was the thing. My big problem of my character defects was self-importance.
I struggle with that one too.
We talk like, it's like, well, I can walk up to the water tower. It's private property. I'm an
adult.
I never thought that's not a big deal. I'm not going to do. And then another one was, I would take my dogs at night to walk over at Friendship Park.
Oh, okay.
And you can't have dogs there.
Oh, you can't?
No, but I'd go and I just do it anyway. And then so Jim's like, there it is again. Why are you so important? You get to take your dogs over there. Who do you think you are?
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? So like pointing out, you know, but you get into recovery, even no matter what, you know, you go back into it and here comes all these hard truths at you. And you can either take them and say, yeah, you're right, and really look into yourself, because that's how you're going to recover, or you can fight against that. And a guy like me who has got long-term recovery a little bit, you know, whatever years, it would have been easy for me to say,
you don't know what you're talking about.
But I don't know. I could not stop. I was powerless, you know, and I don't know if I've ever worked a step one, step one, like I did at Action.
Yeah.
Where I was like, you know what? I am powerless.
I'm going to lay out the proof here.
Yeah. Like Jim said, have you gathered enough evidence?
Yeah.
You know,
or do you need to do more research?
Yeah. Do you need to go ahead, Dustin? Go back out. Go pick one up if you need to.
Yeah.
You know? But that was getting humbled like that when you go back in and say, I don't care. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know anything. You're an idiot.
You got to be teachable. Yeah.
And it was because I just let that happen. It was an unbelievable experience. And now I think, you know, I just got 7 months.
Hell yeah.
I think it's going to, you know, keep going. I'm not out of the weeds yet. It still climbs into my head.
Yeah, it still climbs in my head.
Yeah.
It climbs in, you know, that's just something you have to learn to accept as you know, and learn how to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But I think it's going to end up being a good thing that it all happened, because I never have been to treatment. So I was able to go into treatment, work with these good therapists. Yeah. And watch how you guys run your groups. Like I'm better in the groups now.
Heck,
you know,
yeah. That'll
with sitting in those groups with Charlie and Phil, you know, watching how they
they do things.
Yeah, how they do things. So I think it's gonna help SOAR too.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Because we love SOAR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to keep you too long because you got your baby, dude.
I know. Sorry.
No.
I thought she'd sleep, but apparently she's boycotting nap time today. So.
But I'm thankful that you came on.
Yeah, I'm super
I'll
stoked to be
have
here.
you on again.
Yeah, I would love
we'll
to.
Just keep doing it.
We should get Jim on here.
We should get Jim on here.
We should have Jim come.
Yeah. You get Charlie on here too.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, both of them.
I would love to get those dudes and Phil.
Yeah, get them all in a room together.
I will. That would be great.
That would be awesome. They are knowledgeable. Put those guys together and that'd be cool.
That's a good call. Well, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thanks for
you.
having me.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Whitney.
Yeah.
Oh.